go. Beta version.
Sweet, there we go. I'm
Podcast
excited.
number 1.
Yeah.
So welcome to the Salt Lake Business Podcast. The goal here is just to talk to business owners, angel investors, founders, CTOs, CMOs, COOs, operators, anybody with business minded. It doesn't have to be necessarily in Salt Lake, but anybody that can just add value to the valley. So I'm here with the lovely Clay Rockwood here, one of the best looking real estate investors in Salt Lake Valley. So when
Second to you.
I'm trying. So Clay, why don't you give us an origin story background about you, your business, and how you got started?
Perfect, yeah. So I started in real estate as an agent back in 2008. So right as the market was crashing, I was just out of college. And yeah, I had owned a rental property with my mom and my brother, and so I kind of had an interest in real estate and wanted to pursue it a little further. So yeah, I got my license and I worked as a real estate agent, primarily representing buyers and sellers for about 3 or 4 years. And then had an interest in flipping homes. My brother was a general contractor, my dad is an architect, so we kind of had talked about maybe partnering up and flipping some homes. So anyway, did a deal, probably 8 years ago, our first flip, and we did really well. Probably made like $50,000 on it. So that's kind of what sparked us into
it's a good first deal.
Yeah, and then we just started slowly building the flipping business as a partnership, and then during that time as well, we started buying rentals. So me and my wife, our first property that we owned was a triplex that we lived in. Kind of house hacked.
All right.
So that was our first intro into, owning real estate.
What year was that?
That was back in 2009. So we bought our first triplex in 2009. We still
What were triplexes going for in the valley?
We bought that one. It's a great location in kind of near Liberty Park for $224,000.
Okay.
It's now probably worth $500,000. But yeah, we still own that. Still, it's a great little rental, but. Yeah, from there we just kind of snowballed into more flipping, buying more rentals, duplexes, fourplexes, that kind of thing over the years. And then maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I found that flipping homes got a little harder. It just got more competitive. More people were jumping in as the market was going up, prices were going up. It was harder to find deals that were good.
So you were doing this since 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
When did you notice, so the valley obviously has changed, the population's spiked, housing prices have gone crazy, like 8 to 12% appreciation year over year.
Yeah.
What was the year that you noticed, like, okay, this is getting like pretty ridiculous?
Like I said, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. It was the first time I started feeling pressure from, getting beat out by deals by other investors. I'd say there'd be a wholesaler or someone, an agent because that's the thing, back in the day, wholesaling didn't even exist, right? It was kind of just, I used to wholesale without even knowing I was wholesaling. It was more like an agent in my office would bring a deal and I'd say, oh yeah, that sounds interesting, but we don't have the funds right now, or we've got too many projects, so here, I'll bring it to this other guy I know that that's flipping homes, and here, give me a couple grand and I'll let you buy the deal,
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it was back then.
Yeah.
Before wholesaling was a real systemized thing. So, but anyway, yeah, so I started feeling pressure, and honestly what sparked it is one year I was going over my numbers at the end of the year, and I saw that I paid this one wholesaler roughly $100,000 in fees. And he made, for basically just finding the deals, and I'd buy them, flip them, spend all the time, money, effort, and he would just walk away, with a check.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what sparked my interest in wholesaling specifically is, I saw what these other guys were making and the deals were getting harder to find. So I thought, well, I'm just going to try sourcing my own deals. I'm going to try to find my own stuff instead of relying on other people to bring me deals. So that's kind of what sparked my interest in wholesaling. So I started learning about that, listening to podcasts, signing up for various wholesaling programs. And then, through that, met my business partner, Brian Martineau, who, we partnered up roughly 3 years ago. And since then, it's kind of just taken off, our wholesaling business. So
How did you and Brian get linked up then with your partnership?
It was actually at a wholesaling event. Yeah, like a summit that was held here in Salt Lake.
Was it the Wholesaling Inc. guys?
Yeah, Wholesaling Inc.
Okay.
So we ironically sat next to each other, just sparked up a conversation. He's like, yeah, I'm here in Utah. He's like, I'm just new to real estate, to wholesaling. He's like, oh, awesome. I'm kind of fresh, but I've got more experience in real estate. So yeah, we went to lunch, and it was funny because we both had a problem. he had an abundance of time to focus on this. You know, he's like, I have all the time in the world to do this, but I just
Because
don't
he
have the
quit
money.
his job, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was in the middle, wanting to quit his job.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, well, look, at that time I was still representing clients and I was still doing flipping and stuff. And so I was like, I've got plenty of resources. I just don't have the time to focus on following up with leads and mail, all that kind of stuff. So, so it was a perfect time to partner up. We partnered up, and soon after that, got our first deal. Just kind of snowballed from there.
Nice. So taking back to the time where you started your wholesaling business, was there ever a time, I know we were talking about this earlier, like low on money? What was the, when you started, were you always a entrepreneur and business owner, or did you have a W-2 job and work for somebody?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, I've always been an entrepreneur. Since, again, like I said, right out of college, I worked as an agent. So I was self-employed, basically right out of college. I never had a W-2 job, never had stable income. So I was kind of used to that, the ups and the downs,
Right, peaks and valleys.
So when we started our real estate or our wholesaling business, primarily I was the one funding everything initially for the first few months until we started getting some deals, So there was a time where out of pocket I was, 30 to 40 grand out of my own pocket, So that, there was definitely some fear, but I was confident in the system. And maybe I'll back up and kind of tell you about one of my first deals in wholesaling specifically. This is before I even partnered up with Brian. I had done basically one direct mail campaign, sent out a bunch of mailers to a list, that I pulled online. And my first deal, I think I made like 15 grand. It was just like a duplex I sold to a guy I knew. So I didn't really have a cash buyers list or anything like that. But
all right.
So that was my first deal. It gave me a little bit of cash, and so I was like, okay, this works. I can sell deals, and I have a good network of people that I know, other flippers and investors. But then my second deal was actually an owner-occupant list. They called me. I met with them. They were in a predicament because they needed to sell their home first they needed to buy a home before they would sell their home. Like they needed to have a place to move.
Right.
So being an agent, I said, okay, well look, I'll help you find another house before I even buy your house. So we kind of agreed on a price, and I knew it was a good price. So I went out, for a couple weeks. We showed them a ton of homes, got them excited about a new home. They, the day before they closed on that home, I bought their home, and then they simultaneously closed on their new home. So it was kind of a win-win situation for them. But anyway, that one deal, between the commission I made on their purchase and the sale and the wholesale fee that I got, it was about $85,000 deal.
Wow.
So that was like my second wholesale deal.
Nice.
So after that was when, I think that, to answer your question, that's when I knew like I'm all in. I'm 100% in on this business. I know it works. So, I wasn't too afraid once we, started direct mail and kind of ramping up our marketing that it would work. It was just a matter of time just to kind of get the ball rolling. So.
Yeah, and so I know you and Brian, it seems like you guys have a good partnership. You guys fill each other's needs. As you've been in business for 3 years, how has that partnership grown and evolved now that you guys are both pretty busy? Like, what do those roles look like, and where are you guys going forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the important thing that's helped us as a partnership has been to clearly define roles. Like from the beginning, we sat down and wrote out, okay, what are you good at? What am I good at? What are we each doing? So we're not just like, mixing our job roles and it's very unclear. So we sat down and, Brian, he's more of the integrator, building systems, implementing trainings, things like that. I'm kind of more of the visionary, big picture type stuff. So he's actively the COO, so he runs the operation of the wholesaling business day to day. I'm kind of the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, so I kind of oversee a lot of the marketing type stuff. I would say, we've kind of just sat down and clearly defined our roles, written it out, so we have it on paper, and that was super helpful for us. And now, we're at the point where, we've got a big staff, we've got a bunch of cold callers, acquisition managers. So our next hire is actually going to be someone to kind of replace ourselves, a COO/CMO so that we can kind of step back from the business a little bit and focus on some bigger picture type stuff.
You said you had a big staff. What does your team look like? What is the picture there? How many employees you have?
So we have currently we have 2 acquisition managers that work full time. We have a full-time office assistant that just kind of helps us with everything we need.
Yeah.
We have-
Lifesavers.
Yeah, exactly. He's awesome. We have a full-time disposition manager that just handles the disposition, selling our deals that we get under contract. And then we also have a full-time lead intake manager, so a person that just kind of filters all the leads we get in and, you know, qualifies them before they go to the acquisition managers. And then we have a full-time a virtual assistant who's actually in India. He's been with us from the very beginning. He's awesome. He actually has a team of like 20 people that work for him, so we have a dedicated staff of like 2 or 3 virtual assistants on his staff. And then we also have a team of cold callers, like 3 or 4 cold callers that work for us.
Now, is everybody here, minus your VA, is everyone here locally, or do you have some cold callers that are?
All of our, we do have one cold caller that is local. So she's been with us again from the beginning. She's awesome. She just kind of works part-time, but then all the other cold callers are actually in Costa Rica.
Okay. So you go through call motivated sellers.
Yeah.
So how many do you have in total?
So I think currently we have two of those cold callers in Costa Rica, and then the one here. We're actually going to be getting 2 more in Costa Rica shortly. So
nice.
Ramping that up a little bit.
Nice. And then, so as far as leads come in, I know in the wholesaling business, like the big ones are, you know, cold calling, direct mail. Some people do pay-per-click. Texting's a big one now. What does that look like for you? What are you doing? What's working for you?
Yeah, good question. It's funny because I feel like it's always changing. Like initially we did a ton of direct mail. We were spending probably, I don't know, $15,000 a month just on direct mail, and plus our other stuff. So we were close to $30,000 a month in marketing every month, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So we've really scaled back on direct mail just because we found it's kind of gotten saturated. I mean, we still mail to certain niche lists, but for the most part, we've scaled back that. We've really ramped up our cold calling, which is probably our number 1 source of good leads and deals. Text blasting we've implemented. That's probably our number 2 source. We do ringless voicemails. And then we're actually going to be starting up radio ads here shortly. And we do pay-per-click, Facebook ads, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so those are kind of all the different channels, you know, and it just, you kind of play around with what works and what doesn't, depending on different seasons. So we're always tweaking that.
Yeah. So I just started pay-per-click. So I do direct mail, which we're scaling back as well. Just like our super niche list. Driving for dollars list, and then some vacants, and then some special zip codes. But other than that, I just don't like the aspect. I just hate. I'm a numbers guy, and you can't track direct mail. It's like I don't know if they looked at it. They liked the postcard. They're about to call me, but didn't. I don't know if they were like, "Oh, get this out of here and throw it away."
Yeah, exactly.
There's like no user feedback. It's just like if they called me, that's it. You know what I mean? But I'm starting a pay-per-click right now. And I want to move into Facebook ads. So how are those 2 been working for you?
Good. I mean, I would say those are within the last 6 months. We've really ramped up pay-per-click and kind of our online presence. They've been good. It's one of those things where you spend a lot and you get very few leads, but they're very quality leads. So that's kind of what we found is it's more quality over quantity. Whereas a lot of these other channels, it's like you're weeding through just a ton of crap leads, you know?
Yeah. So what's your ROI on all those lead sources?
I mean, our direct mail, I don't know on our pay-per-click yet. It's pretty fresh still, but our direct mail is pretty low. It's probably like 16% right now, which is not very good.
Yeah.
But our pay-per-click, our cold calling is like up in the 90% or 100% return or more. Yeah, I think it's over 100% right now. So yeah, that's working pretty well. And again, the text messaging we haven't really tracked. It's newer, as well as a ringless voicemail. So we're yet to be determined on those.
Yeah, TBD. Very cool. So as you guys are moving forward, I know you said you want to kind of maybe step back from this operation and hire a COO and a CMO. Once you do that, and I kind of, let's just say this business is automated, right? Yeah. Like what's the next step for you? What are you going to be doing in the future?
Yeah, so I guess my number 1 goal behind wholesaling has always been to build wealth. Right, so that's my goal behind all of this isn't to just, you know, pay my day-to-day expenses, which is nice and which is you need to have, but ultimately my mantra is wholesaling to wealth building. So what we've been doing over the last 3 years while we've been building this has been buying, you know, multifamily deals. That's kind of what we've been focusing on. So right now we have, I think, 80 doors that we own just in various parts of the city or the county. multiple counties. So that would be kind of my next goal, is to focus more heavily on buying long-term cash flowing assets, whether multifamily, commercial, different assets like that. We're even looking at like assisted living facilities, different things like that. And we also have the goal of potentially putting together a mentorship coaching program. We've had a lot of demand for that. We host like a monthly meetup, a monthly luncheon for free that we just offering information for free to people. So that's been really cool. So yeah, we want to have some sort of giving back aspect in our business and helping others, accomplish their goals and dreams. So I think that would be kind of our next step this year, is to step back from the day-to-day and help build those other avenues of income.
Sure. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to make it to your luncheons. I think I host a luncheon. It's always like conflicting with yours up in Royce. I'm like, damn it.
That's all right.
Especially the last one you guys had at Slick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is
That was killer.
Yeah. Thanks, Roden. But what's your goal out of that? Because me being a business-minded person, it's like, okay, they're doing that to maybe like network with younger wholesalers who don't know too much, and it's gonna be a lead gen source. But is that kind of like a side effect? Is like your main goal just to like get your name out there and give back?
Yeah, I mean, that was the number one goal, is to just give back with no other caveats. Just, we want to help people, we want to give information, because we feel like we've been helped a ton with other mentors and people that have shared information with us. So that was kind of our number one goal, is like, just for free, we just want to give back to the community. Now, we realize that, I mean, with the abundant mindset and with the go-giver attitude, that you're naturally going to receive kind of what you put out, right? So it's almost it's not really selfish, but we realize that, hey, we're going to get deals out of this just because we're sharing information, just because people are coming to these events and we're networking. So that is kind of a byproduct of that. And it's funny, like this year with JV deals that we've done with other wholesalers or with other bird dog kind of guys, and people just bring us deals because they know we do deals. We've made probably like $150,000 without any marketing, without any cost, just deals that have been brought to us that we help people out,
Wow.
partner on. So
that's
awesome.
been
really cool, So yeah, that's kind of our goal behind the lunch and learns, and we'll keep doing that for free. We just want to, and we provide lunch and everything, so it's literally just a free event. And with that, we do, in our events, we do tell about how people can partner with us. So we do gear it a lot towards newer investors, guys that are, people that want to just get into investing, whether flipping or wholesaling or just buying rentals, whatever it is. So we do have a program, we show them how to do driving for dollars, and hey, if you find a deal, you can bring it to us, we'll help you sell it, and we'll partner on the deal, so there is that aspect of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I've definitely been thinking about doing something like that up north to get the Davis Weaver community going.
Definitely.
Because that's where I think like as the valley in Salt Lake starts to expand and fill up, and housing prices start to explode, which they already are.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still find houses for like remodel houses for under $200K.
Yeah.
Like granite countertops. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
1,700 square feet, places with a garage. Up in Ogden area. So that has a giant potential, and a lot of businesses are starting to move up there as well.
Yeah.
The Air Force Base, they're bringing a lot of economic drivers to that, so it's going to bring, I think, like 2,500 jobs.
No, I agree, man. I just bought 2 deals up there. In fact, one was
you
brought me.
Mine,
so yeah, it's all about collaboration.
That was a good one. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it's it looks scary, but when you get in, you're like, oh, not that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been in there or not.
Yeah, I finally went through it.
Okay. The layouts are very weird,
Yeah.
but it's like, oh, not too bad.
That's a good deal. It'd be a great little cash flow.
Yeah, and as Ogden gets to be like where I think Ogden can be in 10 years, that property has tons of potential. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you're marketing in different, you're in Oregon, right?
Yeah, we recently opened in Oregon.
Okay, now you want to go into the multifamily space as well. I saw a post from Brian maybe like 6 months ago saying, hey, we're marketing in he listed off like 11 states for multifamily assets. Like, are you doing that right now?
So yeah, we had started up with a third partner we kind of brought on that for a while there we were focusing solely on mid-sized multifamily, like 10 to 80 units.
Mm-hmm.
We felt like that was a really niche space that not a lot of people were targeting. And yeah, we were marketing heavily in 15 different states. And we had found a couple deals out of it, but basically we just realized it's just a lot harder than you think it is.
Yeah.
Not only to source the deal, to underwrite the deal, but to get funding for the deal. That's the big thing, is just raising capital for deals out of state. It's
How so?
It's harder. I just think most of our network, the people that we know are investors here in Utah. They want to buy stuff here that they know. Like if we're pitching a deal out and, hey, we've got this, 10 unit out in North Carolina in the middle of nowhere, they're not as interested,
Right.
Even though you can run through the numbers with them and show them the return, they're just like, yeah, I don't know. I'd be more interested in something local.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of scaled back on that. And we're focusing more heavily, still the same type of product here, mid-sized multifamily, but just here locally and in the surrounding states. So yeah, like I said, Oregon, Idaho, Arizona, Nevada, Utah. So.
Okay. So you're staying out of Colorado?
Yeah, we marketed in Colorado for a while, but the prices were just too high there.
Oh, I bet. Colorado's
it's crazy.
Yeah, I always think of Colorado's, Utah's older, cooler brother.
Yeah, exactly.
We both have the same genetics, the same DNA. We're both athletic with tons of ski resorts and mountains, but this guy was partier, most popular in the high school, and we're the younger nerdy brother, going to Stanford Business School.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah.
We don't party, we don't drink, we go to bed early.
So true. Yeah, we tried for a while, and it's just insane pricing. We're forget that. We'll drop that off. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So have you? So you couldn't source the deals and get funding for them, but have you thought about wholesaling those multifamilies?
Yeah,
Or is that a challenge?
Yeah, no, and there is a challenge there. We did try. We had a couple deals in Texas. In 2 different parts of Texas, we were under contract. They were actually pretty good deals that we tried to partner with a wholesaler there. He blasted it out and he even has a bigger list than we have here. He's a very well established wholesaler, but at the end of the day, he couldn't find a buyer at the price we wanted. And it's just different. It's different trying to wholesale a mid-sized property that's, $2-3 million property. It's different than wholesaling a $30,000 house. It's just a total different buyer, total different mindset. They're wanting even steeper discounts. It's a little harder. So we found that was a challenge working through another wholesaler, and ultimately, we decided to pull the plug on that. So we'll see. It's not that we won't eventually, but I think we kind of overextended ourselves thinking, oh yeah, this will be easy. We'll just do it in these random states, but we're going to try and prove the model here and in the surrounding states, and then from there we can kind of expand out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's smart. I think it's definitely the Mountain West range has a ton of potential with Idaho, some parts of Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
So that's super exciting. So as you move forward, so what do you want to leave to the people? What do you have? Any tips, tactics, tricks?
God, man, there's so many. But I would say my number one thing, I guess, that I'd leave is for me, what's really changed my business from going from a real estate agent to a flipper and now to kind of seeing our business expand and explode is mindset. And I know that's kind of cliche. A lot of people just say mindset because it's so vague and it doesn't really mean anything necessarily. But to me, it really has changed my business is having an abundant mindset, first of all, and a collaborative mindset where I believe if I give back and help other people, that I will in turn be helped and they'll give back to me. So that has been huge. And it's a hard thing to do a lot of times where hey, I've spent all this time, this effort, this money to build my business, and I'm just going to give that knowledge away for free. That's hard. It can be, your pride can get in the way. So, but I've found that as we do that, we just get more business that comes back to us and more opportunities spring up through our networking and through different things like that. So having an open mind, having an abundant mindset, helping others, and not limiting yourself in your belief that I can't succeed and that your success can be infinite. So that's something I'm still learning and still growing into, is that, holy cow, I was doing this and now we're doing this. I never thought this was even possible. So not limiting yourself to only believe just as an example, when Brian and I started, we had a goal, I think, of making something like $30,000 a month. And that was crazy, $30,000.
Net profit or
just gross
revenue?
And that was, $30,000 a month in gross. It's that's crazy. If we could do that, we'd be rich, And now we're our goal is $130,000 a month, And so you just kind of grow into these things that you never thought possible, but as you achieve them, you realize, oh, that wasn't as hard as I thought. It's just about implementing systems and processes and having the right mindset. So that would kind of be my parting words is don't limit yourself. believe that you can succeed, and just go out and give value to people, and you'll find that you'll receive value in return. So
That's awesome, man. So what was your top line revenue last year, and then what are your projections for this year?
So 2019, our goal was 1.2 million gross revenue just through the wholesaling business. We did just under that. This next year, our goal is 1.6 million in gross. So we're growing incrementally, slowly. We're not shooting for the stars, but we're trying to be realistic, and we're hoping to fix certain processes and systems that will help us to be able to accomplish that, and then obviously surpass that in the years to come. So.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess what's your expense ratio that you have there as well?
Yes.
What are you spending every month?
So our budget every month is about just under $30,000.
Okay.
So $27,000 to $30,000 monthly marketing budget.
Okay. And does that
to bring in $130,000?
So does marketing include employees as well?
No, that's just strictly marketing.
Does a cold caller count as marketing? Do you consider that?
So
marketing?
we would call the cold callers do count as our marketing, but none of our other staff, like our assistant or our disposition manager, they're on salaries, so that's totally separate from the marketing. But yeah, the cold callers do count. All the systems and the software that we use, that's all part of the marketing budget.
Okay.
So.
And then the fees that you pay your acquisition managers,
that's separate.
Separate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, cool, man. Well, I'm excited. I met Brian at I think his first and only RIA he ever went to.
Yeah, I think I've been to one RIA.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him way back, and it was I think he was just getting going. I think you guys must have just had one or two deals going.
Yeah.
Because I know for a little bit he was getting a little nervous. This might have been right before he met you.
It was before he met. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's awesome to see both of you grow, especially him, because I know he was kind of the same spot I was, where we were all right. Here we are, quitting our job.
We're doing it.
This is it.
I'll tell you, man. I mean, just one other thing. I believe that the partnership, that's what's helped us exponentially grow. I mean, I know for sure I could not have built this business to where it is today by myself. I mean, I wouldn't have done it just with my skill set and my knowledge. So I think having a good partner like that has been huge for us. And I really believe that a good partnership can, exponentially grow your business. Not that everyone has to have one, but for us, I think, the pros and cons and the different skill sets that we have just complemented each other so well that we just helped each other grow so much. So yeah, I owe a ton to Brian, and I hope he'd say he owes a ton to me as far as what value I give to him. But yeah, it's been a great partnership, and I foresee us being together for forever. So
nice, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, it was fun having you on. Tell the people, where can they reach you? Socials?
Yeah, you can find us on our website, utahhousebuyers.com. That's our email as well, utahhousebuyers@gmail.com. That's probably the best place to find us.
And your luncheons, where can they get some free lunch at?
Yeah, again, if you're interested, you can shoot us an email. We do it always the third Wednesday of every month. And we're currently doing it at the Red Iguana downtown.
Okay.
They have a big meeting space there. So it's at noon, just a free lunch. Anyone can come, but if you're interested in signing up, just shoot us an email, contact us through the website. We can give you more details. So
nice. And I know you started a new Instagram page.
Yeah.
Now you're telling your stories now.
I mean, I've never been super active on social media necessarily, but I'm pushing myself just because a bunch of mentors of mine are like, man, you got to get on social media. That's where we get all our deals.
Yeah, it's 2020, man. Come on.
All right, I'll do it.
There's 2 billion active users out there. I think we can get you on there.
So yeah, I just started. Brian and I actually have our own individual Instagrams. Mine just Clay Rockwood on Instagram.
Yeah, Clay Rockwood.
So you can follow me. I share deals we're doing, breakdowns of numbers, just kind of opening up, the back door to deals that we do in our business. So
awesome. Well, cool, man. It was a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, good one. All right, bye everybody.